Reading Time with Miss Kelly, The Mitten by Janet Bear. Once there was a boy named Nicky who wanted his new mittens from wool as white as snow. At first, his grandmother, Baba, did not want to knit white mittens. If you drop one in the snow, she warned, you'll never find it. But Nicky wanted snow white mittens, and finally, Baba made them. After she finished, she said, "When you come home, first I will look to see if you are safe and sound, but then I will look to see if you still have your snow white mittens." So off Nicky went, and it wasn't long until one of his new mittens dropped in the snow and was left behind. A mole, tired from tunneling along, discovered the mitten and burrowed inside. It was cozy and warm. A snowshoe rabbit came hopping by. He stopped for a moment to admire his winter coat. So now you see in the mitten, there are two different animals. So what do you think is going to happen next? I guess we'll have to keep reading to find out. Next, a hedgehog came snuffling along, having spent the day looking under a rock. So now we have a rabbit and a hedgehog. What was the first thing that went in there? Can anyone remember? All right, let's keep reading to see what happens next. As soon as the hedgehog disappeared into the mittens, a big owl, attracted by the commotion, swooped down. When he decided to move in also, the mole, the rabbit, and the hedgehog grumbled. But when they saw the owl's glinty talons, they quickly let him in. Up through the snow appeared a badger. He eyed the mitten and began to climb in. The mole, the rabbit, the hedgehog, and the owl were not pleased. There was no room left, but when they saw his diggers, they gave him the thumb. What animal do you think this is? It started snowing, but the animals were snug in the mitten. A waft of warm steam rose in the air, and a fox trotting by stopped to investigate. Just then, the slide of the cozy mitten made him feel drowsy. The fox poked his muzzle in. When the mole, the rabbit, the hedgehog, and the owl and the badger saw his shiny teeth, they gave the fox lots of room. Uh-oh. A great bear lumbered by. He spied the mitten and plumped up. Not being one to be left out in the cold, he began to nose his way in. The animals were packed in as tightly as could be. But what animal would argue with a bear? Not me. Would you argue with a bear? The mitten swelled and stretched. It was pulled and budged too many times its size. But Baba's good knitting held on fast. Along came a meadow mouse, no bigger than an acorn. She wriggled into one space left and made herself comfortable. So now you can see all the animals are inside of the mitten. Let's see what happens next. What do you guys think is happening in this picture? The bear, tickled by the mouse's whisker, gave an enormous achoo! The force of the sneeze shot the mitten up into the sky and scattered the animals everywhere. But then, on his way home, Nicky saw a white shape in the distance. It was a lost Mitten silhouetted by the sky. As he ran to catch the snow Mitten, he saw Baba's face in the window. First, she looked to see if he was safe and sound, and then she looked to see that he still had his mittens. The end.